Hey there, good afternoon. So we're coming in on the backside of lunch hour here, 12:45 on a Monday afternoon. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Had a couple things. So conversation on yesterday afternoon. Super grateful for the content, super grateful for the information that's being passed on. But two different folks said, well, where do I start, Dave? Like, you know, talk a lot about a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts, but where do I as an individual start? So I wanted to share and maybe over the course of the next few days, a more tactical approach to things. But first, I kind of lean in on the individual, right? And the reason I do that is you have to be cognizant of this medium. It's really difficult for me to come on and have a conversation here at an organizational level, right? Where you can make and facilitate and be a catalyst for change at an organizational level. But here, being cognizant of the medium, this is a Facebook Live, right? So there are individuals here who are either on teams, who are looking to better their own lives, who are looking to better the work environment of their teams, who are looking to lead their teams better, and so on and so forth. And so just being cognizant a little bit of the medium would hopefully help to understand the reasoning for the direction of the content. And while I tend to lean in more on the individual, because I do believe that at an individual level, that when we take ownership over our own growth and our own understanding, our own communication styles, our own biases, then so much positive things come out of that we can impact things at a team level, at a group level, at a business unit level, and even at an organizational level. So not to mention the impact on our family and friends. So with that being said, super tactical, when I think about the question, where do I start? So for me, and how it played out for me is, and that's the only place I can lead from, right? It is that I had to identify, how did I get where I was? So it's almost like, how did I get here? So when we think about our positions, the roles that we're currently in work or even in family, looking back to identify, how did I get here? Because really that kind of passion, that value, that exponential value that I talk about frequently really comes from doing work that you love. And I know that sounds like hokey, but it can be the reality. But we have to identify and recognize, how did we get to where we are? One of the biggest benefits, one of the biggest things that I started doing was journaling. And it was really trying to get these ideas, these concepts, these thoughts, and to try to wrestle with and try to better understand some of those things that were in my mind. And so one of those questions was, how did I get here? And for me, that journey has been a pretty lengthy journey, one that's been all over the place. But when I started asking that question 4 or 5 years ago in the role that I was currently in, I think what's true for a lot of us, and the data actually shows us as well, if we look back at it, there's historically tons of trending data that says how many of us, if you look at your life, how many of us that are here today are in the roles that we're in, are in the job functions, solving the types of problems that our parents solved. Well, why is that, right? That is mostly by exposure, right? In the sense that it becomes really familiar at a young age. The language is familiar. The groups of circles are familiar, right? And it makes that path a little easier because of the familiarity. We don't have to overcome those obstacles of fear and newness and all of these other things. So really starting with identifying, try to look back over the patterns, the relationships, the decisions that got you into the role that you're in today. Maybe even the organization that you're working for, within, or leading today, right? Or the teams that you're in or leading today, right? What got you here? Identifying some of those attributes will be really key indicators in identifying where do we go in the future, but also identifying why do we think the way that we think about where we currently are. So let's take a look at, how did we get here, right? Again, think about family dynamics, think about work dynamics, think about interests, think about relationships. How many of those things, right, were key metrics in getting you to where you are in the job, in the role, in the type of problems that you're solving today? Look at those things. I would love it if you would just take a few minutes to take some time and write down a few things to really identify how you got to where you are today. And then we'll pick up on some additional attributes later on this week. Feel free to shoot me a message. That would give me some very specific talking points to, maybe help or assist in a much more specific manner than a broad manner. So that's it. That's all I got for you today. I love you. I cannot wait to dig into this a little deeper with you and for you. And just let me know how to help. Take care. Thanks, guys.